Whole part whole skills training. Does it work as part of a multidisciplinary approach? So what is whole part whole? Whole part whole means that you do the whole activity, then you break it into small sections, and you do these sections separately, and then you put it back into the whole movement and try to translate it into an improvement that way. The literature is going to tell you that whole part whole does not work. However, as part of a multidisciplinary approach, I would differ, and I'm going to show you where I would differ. Now, way down over there is our pole vault area. I'm a pole vault coach as well as a boxing coach. Pole vault is a very technically skilled event, and I'm going to show you one of the reasons why it works particularly well in pole vault, and I'd like you to consider it if you're teaching any technically difficult skill. Okay, so here I have a broken bit of pole. I think I broke this pole about 20 years ago, in fact, and I'm going to do a demonstration of one exercise that we do, and then I'll explain to you where this comes into pole vault and why we would need to practice it as part. Okay, the takeoff in pole vaulting is called the plant. That's where we plant the pole in the box. There's a box at the end of the runway, we plant it in. Now, if I do this and practice my plant like that, I can practice this many times over, and those repetitions will translate into learning, and I've got a better chance then of being able to replicate a good quality movement over there. Now, in a pole vault session, when I'm actually doing jumps, I might only be able to make 15 jumps per training session. But if I do the part method here, practicing the plant, I can do hundreds of these each week. This will allow me to replicate that skill when I come to do it in the whole part of the movement. Here is another application, again using my broken pole. One of the things we do as we go upside down is we invert on the pole. Once again, I can only do this maybe 15 times in a session if I'm lucky. So what I can do is I can practice with my broken pole, and I can do my inversion and practice it many times to make sure I get the correct movement here. The title of this video alluded to multidisciplinary, did it not? By multidisciplinary, I'm not just talking about acquiring a skill as the only goal. Let's take, for example, again, we'll go back to pole vault. One of the main determinants of how high I can pole vault is how fast I can run. That needs to be done over there on the track. That by definition is part of the skill that I need to have. Now, where this really comes into its own is where someone is unable to replicate a particular part of the movement because they're not strong enough. Let me take an example again from pole vault to show you this. So I've got a suspension trainer here. One of the movements I must be able to do is after takeoff, I must be able to resist the force of my own body weight there, pushing me back into this position and push like this. So what I can do is I can stand with this here, and I can just allow that to go there like that. I could use two hands if I wanted to. That will allow me to get stronger in these muscles so that I'm able to replicate it when I put it into the hole. Another example, I need to be strong enough to hold an inverted position. If I can't do this on the pole, I can practice it elsewhere so that when I'm on the pole, I'm strong enough. So although the research suggests that whole part whole does not necessarily lead to better skill acquisition, as part of a multidisciplinary approach, it's absolutely necessary. So don't disregard it. It's a very useful tool.